Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Delightful Kiss Boy, and today I'm going to be using the power of coding to answer the question if 100 men could beat a single gorilla just chilling, minding its own business in D&D combat, so D&D rules. For those who don't know, I'm a giant dweeb. I have played D&D several times, so I know what I'm talking about. But I saw this video right here. That's what inspired me to make this video. From the channel Deck of DM Things, which pops up occasionally. I mean, he's usually just kind of, advertising useless crap you can buy. But I don't know, he seems like a fine channel. But I saw this video, and I noticed that there were some things about it that I thought were weird, that I didn't quite agree with. But I mean, overall, it's a fun idea, and so props to him for coming up with a fun idea. All right, but let's take a look at the video. Let's see what he did, so we can kind of compare and contrast. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a typical reaction video. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I'm going to get to the actual code that I wrote in a bit, but we're going to start off with this. Just got an idea of what the scenario is that he's proposing.
I have solved the 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate using the rules of Dungeons & Dragons. Now, of course, I made a spreadsheet. I found it.
Good man, good man. So we're off to a good start. Everybody loves a good spreadsheet. I am a spreadsheet enjoyer. I think it might have been Google Sheets. Sometimes I use that. I usually try to use Excel when I can. Just saying, it's a lot better.
Stat block for a giant ape. That's what I'm using. We have the.
So now, okay, wait. This is the first problem. This is the first problem that I have with this video. He's using a giant ape stat block to represent a normal gorilla. Now, for those who haven't played D&D, this says right here, huge beast, okay? I consider myself a huge beast. But huge in D&D terms essentially means you're like 20 to 30 feet fucking tall. You're like Jack and the Beanstalk motherfucker up in the clouds, okay? You're not a typical gorilla. So what he's using here is he's using the stat block of essentially King Kong to represent a normal gorilla. Now what I used in my little simulation is the ape stat block, which is a medium beast, unaligned. I think that an ape, in real life would be between medium and large, so they chose to go with medium here. And you can see this is a lot more of a, reasonable stat block for a fucking gorilla, okay? So that's what I'm using. That's my first problem with this video. This is King Kong.
Block for a giant ape. That's what I'm using. We have the stats from the great ape, and I calculated the hit chance of the gorilla, assuming that the men are commoners. But because...
So he's using the commoner stat block here, okay? Which you can see here, they've got a 10 armor class. They're pretty, wimpy little dudes. Challenge rating 0. It's like nothing. Nothing. Alright, so he's using the commoner stat block.
Because this gorilla has a +9 to both of their attacks each turn, they have a 100% hit chance.
Now this is actually wrong. Alright, so in D&D, anytime you or a monster, when you're rolling to hit, roll a natural 1, you automatically miss. So there's always a chance that you can miss. Conversely, if you roll a natural 20, that's always a hit. So you always have a chance to hit as well, no matter what the armor class is or modifiers or whatever. So at the very least, this should be a 95% chance to hit, because there's always a chance that the gorilla rolls a natural 1 and misses. All right?
And based on their hit die, their average damage is 22 per hit, which means every round they're doing about 44 damage, versus the commoners that only...
He's saying that because they get 2 attacks, including the regular gorilla, 2 fist attacks. So that's why it's an average of 44, he's saying.
We have a 40% chance to hit, and are dealing 1 damage per hit, because...
Now, okay.
Remember, these guys are unarmed.
So he's saying they're unarmed, and they have a 40% chance to hit the ape, because the ape has an AC of 12, and if you look here, the peasant has a strength modifier +0. Now this is not entirely correct, because if you see here, the commoner comes with a club, and it has +2 to hit. So that means that the commoner has a +2 proficiency bonus to hit, which means that even if it's doing unarmed attacks, it should be getting that +2 as well, I believe. So it should be a straight up 50-50 as to whether it hits the gorilla or not a 40% chance.
Commoner gets 1 attack, which means that a commoner does on average about 0.4 damage.
So he's calculating the expected value. This should be 0.5. And I don't have to go through the entire thing, but basically what he does is he kind of extrapolates this out. Also, one other thing, actually, I got to mention. He's like, well, a gorilla isn't huge, so let me just scale it down to being large, which just benefits the gorilla even more, because he doesn't adjust any of his stats as he's scaling it down from huge to large. He's just making it so that fewer humans can be attacking it at one time, because, you know, if you have a huge one, more of them can surround the monster, whatever. And so, anyway, he goes through the simulation. He says, okay, King Kong can defeat 100 humans in the spreadsheet. And I was like, I'm not buying it, brother. And so I was like, I'm working on some videos. Let me just let's slap some code together. It's pretty messy code. And let's give it a whirl ourselves, all right? So, to start off with, let me just show you what I got here, So I made this little graphical interface. How many do you want? Let's just do a 1v1. No, we'll do a 5v1, okay? So 5 commoners fighting against a single gorilla here. So let's bring up the battleground here. And you can see my beautiful graphics here. We have our commoners, and we have our fearsome ape. Now you'll notice my ape is medium size, and that's because I'm using the actual ape stat block. And so let's go ahead and see who wins between Bonky Kong here and these 5 businessmen. All right, so round 1. Let's just go through it. So Bonky Kong kills one of them, reduces them to a pile of mulch, and ends up taking a little bit of damage because, you know, on average, they're hitting about half the time, and they deal 1 damage per hit. And then let's go to round 2. Boom, he mulches 2 people because, once again, he gets 2 attacks, so he goes boom, boom. Mulches 2 people, takes a little bit more damage, and then mulches these guys, and oh, it's easy. This is an easy fight, right? So far, it's looking pretty good for our gorilla here. All right, well, let's try it again. Let's bump it up to 10. All right, let's see how 10 commoners fight against a single Bonky Kong here. And so we'll punch. You'll see these guys are kind of moving into position here. He mulches 2 people, but now, because he was fully surrounded, he's taking substantially more damage, right? It's no longer coming from 5 people that are getting, you know, reduced one by one to rubble. And boom. Also, I made it so that these guys can actually only move like 1 space at a time, just to simplify things, because spoiler alert, I'm going to be simulating hundreds of thousands of games, and so I didn't want to have pathfinding logic there. Obviously, if you're really playing D&D, these guys could sneak over and start attacking, but you'll find out quickly it doesn't really matter for the argument of if 100 men could beat a single gorilla. But anyway, they're fighting DK here, and they're beating him down, but they're also getting mulched. It's kind of a gorilla blender scenario here, and Bonky Kong ends up on top. All right, so you can see here he's killed all of them. There's a beautiful pile of gore. You know, shield your eyes if there are children around. And he kind of, you know, chews those guys up and kills them. Now, let's bump it up to 15. All right, so far we aren't anywhere close to 100, and he's already getting down below half health. Now, I should also mention, by the way I'm doing this is I'm randomizing the health. So in D&D, let me go back to stat block real quick. In D&D, you can see here, there's an average number of hit points, but there's also this 3d8 plus 6. So if you want to have variance in the health of your creatures that your adventurers are going to be fighting, you can randomize it. And so I ended up doing that for both the commoners and the ape, just to make it a little bit more interesting. You can see here, you know, we're rolling additional dice for Bonky Kong here, and I'm going to call all the men the Garys. I was going to make it so that they get little names, but I was too lazy. Anyway, but the Garys, they get between 1 and 8 health a pop, all right? So let's go back. We're up to 15 now. Let's see how Bonky Kong does against 15 Garys now. Well, round 1, he gets he's got a sizable chunk taken out, because keep in mind there's a 50-50 chance that any of these guys hit him, you know, and if they do, they deal 1 damage, and he's got about, you know, between, I don't know, like 15 and 30 health or whatever the fuck it is, right? And so he takes out 2 of them, mulches them, and then let's go to the next round, and he mulches 2 more guys. Ends up he's down to half health, and he mulches this guy, and all of a sudden he is dead. All right, so our ape is dead, and he has fallen to a measly 15. Was it 15 fucking Garys here? So there's kind of a big discrepancy between my simulation and the deck of DM things is spreadsheet. We're seeing here that the ape is having trouble with 15. All right, so let's go ahead and just start simulating hundreds of thousands of matches. Okay, so let's swap over to this one here, and let me just do this. So this is just going to play them over and over again with no graphics to calculate how many times the gorilla wins versus the commoners. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll do 100,000 trials, and we're going to see here with 15 folks, the ape wins 28,430 times, whereas the commoners win 71,570 times. So about 70% of the time, when you have 15 commoners facing off against a single gorilla in D&D, the commoners are going to win. All right? Well, let's try to find out where that 50-50 split happens. Let's kind of binary search it. Let's go down to 12. All right, 12, and let's see what happens here. Okay, so we simulate 100,000 matches. Now the ape is in favor. Okay, the ape is winning 65,000 times. The commoners are winning 34,000 times. All right, so let's binary search it. Let's bump it up to 13 here. And we bump it up to 13, and let's see what happens here. And here we have the ape winning 51,000 times, and the commoners winning about 48,000 times. So the ape is in favor. This is pretty close to a 50-50 split right now. Let's just bump it up to 14. Let's see what 14 has for us. And let's see here. And here the ape is losing the majority of the time now. It's kind of interesting. There's kind of these thresholds where the ape starts losing a lot more. And between 13 and 14, there's a large jump here. So that's pretty interesting. This is, obviously the humans aren't even playing optimally here. I'm not even taking into account flanking, which is an optional rule that if you're surrounding an enemy, you get advantage on your hits. I haven't factored that in. We're already seeing the ape is getting his ass beat by fucking 14 commoners, which is a far cry from the 100, which, supposedly King Kong could take on. I did not go through the process of coding in King Kong, but if you guys would like to see that, or if you'd like to see any other matchups here, they could be entertaining. Just for the hell of it, let me just show you what 100 commoners looks like. it's just a fucking, they're just gonna wreck this fool right here. They're beating a gorilla to death, okay? But let's take a look. Let's just, for the sake of argument, we've got our 100 Garys in this beautiful field here, and we'll watch them beat this beautiful ape to death. They, of course, get meat grinded here, just completely red here. But alas, our DK has fallen, and barely a scratch on the Gary army. So 100 can handily take out a single ape. But anyway, there you go. I wrote some code for this. I had a fun time with it. If you'd like to see any further matchups, this is a fun little quick video. And no shade to Deck of DM things. Thank you for the idea, honestly. I think it was cool that you did it. Some of the comments, yeah, people are pointing out some of the same shit that I'm pointing out. But overall, it's just all in good fun. We're having a good time. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about doing it to like other things too. Like we kind of, there's what are the other matchups that people always talk about? It's like you fighting one horse-sized duck versus 100 duck-sized horses. It could be kind of fun to do it in D&D if you want to use a different rule set, like Pathfinder or something. Let me know. If you think I did something wrong here with my simulation, also let me know. But there you have it. Lots of fun. Thank you for watching. Quick little video for a Saturday afternoon. All right. Take it easy, fellas.